Hello everyone and welcome to Hitchcock Place, home of Patton's Downtown Grill for tonight's Richmond Raiders Coach's Corner. I'm Mike Sneed and I'm the host of the show, and also you can hear me on Friday nights on G104 FM doing the live play-by-play coverage of the game of the week, me and my partner Lee Wallace, who will be with us shortly. Our special guest tonight, starting off with the coaches, may I introduce our head coach, Mike Castellano, and also Steve Bordeaux. So I'm going to start with Mike Castellano first. Coach, just give us a little bit of background about your trek that brought you to Richmond County.
Well, I've been coaching now for 21 seasons, and recently thought of that and realized that's probably why I'm getting gray hair and look older. But, when I first got into coaching, one of the first things I was privileged enough to do was actually watch a Richmond County game. And back then it was against Anson County and Scotland County. And, that was a big rivalry obviously at the time as well. And it was an experience for somebody like myself getting into coaching I never forgot about. Then I was lucky enough to coach some college ball for probably 14 of the 21 years, and also coach high school ball in North Carolina, obviously. But, I got an opportunity to come to Richmond County, and the often asked question from people outside of Richmond County is, what is Richmond County like? Is it true they love football? Is it true they go crazy about football? And my reply has been the same. I said, in 21 years, I've never worked with, kids that are as excitable and fun to be around as these guys. And two, I said, I'm glad people are passionate about football. That's what I chose to do for a living, and obviously I'm passionate about it. So I think it's a good fit for me personally, and hopefully a good fit for, the community and the program.
Well, Coach, this stint wasn't the first time that you had applied for a job here at Richmond County. I think you told me earlier that you had applied for a job here some years ago when Darryl Barnes was here. Yes,
a good friend of mine was friends, recruited the area. His name's Jamie Snyder. I worked with him at Catawba and Coastal, and that's actually how I met Coach Hoggard and Coach Barnes and Coach Schuler over the years. But I got done with grad school, and I said, I'm going to get smart. I'm not going to make $5,000 a year, $7,000 a year to coach college football. I'm going to go coach high school ball and get rich. So the time I decided, to do that, and Jamie Snyder called me and said, hey, Richmond County is a great place, and they have an opening. And I literally forgot about this, so I was riding around with Mr. McKenzie and Dr. Goodman one Sunday, and I looked at the stadium and looked at it again, and I went, oh, crap, I interviewed here about 14 years ago, and realized I'd come and met with Coach Barnes. I think his hallway back then was the office was in the hallway, and we had a great talk, and at that point a friend convinced me to go somewhere else instead, but it's funny how life works, and you end up going there, years later.
Well, Coach, I know it's only been a short time since you've been here, coming in around the first part of June, and I know that you've had a lot of things going on. What's been the proudest moment that you've had in watching these kids develop from transitioning from an old system to new schemes? What do you see that really excites you about the program?
Well, there's a lot of proud moments in just a short time period, but the one thing that amazes me is you see kids, I think they develop the personality of the people around them. And, our demeanor and our personality as coaches are kind of excited guys. If you come to a game, I'm not crazy on the sideline. I just get excited and love football. And it's kind of neat to watch these guys and how excited they are to play, and how they watch out for one another, and they've learned to communicate like we want to communicate, the language we want to use within football. And these guys will come by and they'll brag about their grades, or they'll brag about something that happened at home over the weekend. And, coaching's about relationships, and I'm really proud of the relationships we have with these guys over a short time period.
Well, you've seen small steps, I guess you want to say, but we've seen some great growth in this scheme that you put forward this year. One in particular that I noticed, and he's going to be the guy that gets noticed, is Leon Ziegler. Watching him develop from an option-type quarterback to this type of scheme. Just touch on Leon just for a moment and talk about how he's progressed.
Leon's come a long way. He broke 3 school records on Friday night, and when I read his grade to him, how he performed during the game, it was 57%. So, we said, look, your grade wasn't high, but imagine what you can do once we clean it up. And he's come a long way. Coach Williams, Coach Bordeaux, the other offensive coaches, Coach Denson, are all working with him, and they're trying to get him, comfortable with the system, 1, and then 2, get his technique what we want it to be. And he's come a long way, but he still has a long way to go.
It sure has, and it's been a pleasure watching him transition into this new role. Coach Bordeaux, the game Friday night, we saw a lot of positive things. We saw some things that when we got started off slow again, the snap from the center and the transition right there. What was the problem there that was causing that, and then how did we get that fixed where it didn't bother us the rest of the game?
We worked this on the sideline in between the series just to make sure there was no more issues with it. It was just a simple mistake between two guys trying to get the exchange. We'll continue to work on that to eliminate it, but just reps throughout practice will help that.
But I noticed we walked out on the field before the game, and the field was terribly wet. And talking to some folks down there, they hadn't had any rain. So do you think could that have had anything to do with it?
We had to play on the same field they did,
Yeah.
so I don't think that had anything to do with it.
Well, that's good. It was a great win for the Raiders. If you haven't heard, the Raiders pulled out a 55-14 win over the Southview Tigers, and I was really impressed with a lot of things that I saw that night. You want to go to the highlights and show us some of the events that happened on Friday?
The first highlight you're going to see here is John David catching a touchdown pass on this play from Leon. Obviously, he wanted to throw the ball a little earlier, but as you look at it, and you can see a lot of things have to happen for the play to be successful. Obviously, a good route has to be run. The OL has to protect. When we get to the tight copy, you can see here, Leon does a better job of one of the things they've been working on the offense is staying in the pocket longer, not getting out of the pocket, trusting his protection. And you can see here, as he gets a snap, he stays in a little better. Slips a little bit, but tries to keep his feet underneath him. If he has his feet underneath him, then a little better throw. But obviously, we're happy with the results, and we can correct some of the technique stuff. The second one you're going to have here is you're going to have a fake jet right there. Obviously, we run that a lot. Coach Bordeaux does a great job of designing screens and concepts off of it. And here we throw a backside screen to Octavius. And this is kind of an impressive play, talking about being proud of some guys. When you watch here, obviously you see Shaw get out in front. Other offensive linemen are working downfield, try to help him. But the amazing thing is that guy right there gets knocked down, is knocked down by Lavelle, coming from the other side of the field to make sure he helped his teammate out and make sure, it wasn't about him. His name wasn't going to be in the paper on that play. It was more important to him that the Raiders won that play, that we scored. You see him right there at the end. Obviously, Jeremiah's doing a great job there too, working downfield. So those kind of things are exciting. The third one right here, this guy right here, I used to call him 25, and I like to brag on this because he has a 25 ACT, which is obviously a very good score. But this is Skinner right here with an interception. He's a very talented guy and a very smart guy. But it's a great job by YG and Paul. We actually go through practice often and coach up how we want to return an interception. And 90% of the time, the guy that makes a tackle on an interception is the guy the ball was intended to be thrown to. So the first thing we want to do is make sure we block that guy. And you can see right here, 41 and 28, Paul and YG turn and immediately want to make sure that guy's blocked. Now right there, Skinner, if he takes his coaching and cuts outside, he would have scored on that play. And one of the things we talk about as a defense is making sure that we score at least as many points by our defense as we allow another opposing offense to do. And if he had scored there, that would have been 14 points on the night that we gave up and 14 that we scored. The next one is going to be an interception by a junior corner. Jones up top is going to have a good leverage. We've worked on trying to keep leverage in cover 3, working towards the inside receiver. Now, if you notice here, he does get down the sideline like we coach him to do. That's impressive. You pause it right there, and you see we have, as you watch this play out, and the ball should be in the outside arm. We have to correct that. But if you look, you have 10 guys trying to lead their teammate into the end zone after an interception. Obviously, it takes all 11 guys to execute a play, and you see the guy makes the pick, everybody else is blocking, doing it the proper way, and that's something to be proud of. And obviously, it doesn't happen without your teammates. You see the outside linebacker there had great pressure on the quarterback. I believe that was Khalil. And you see the guys here leading up, looking for somebody to block, no cheap shots, and we score. Okay, this will be Boyer here on a jet sweep. Nakeem does a great job blocking. It's just great blocks across the board, the offensive line, but you can watch him accelerate when he gets to that next level right there. Obviously, he's an athletic guy. We have a bunch of athletic guys, but you can see here how the play actually works. You see the offensive line with great reach block by Alex. See right there, we got one guy knocks down one player, turns and blocks the next guy as well. And obviously you're excited when you get a chance to go celebrate with your teammates after a touchdown. The last one right here is late in the game. We have a linebacker blitz call for Paul, and you'll see Paul and Ricardo Rush both get in on this sack right here at the end. And obviously one of our goals is to try to get off the field in money situations, meaning third or fourth down, and obviously this got us off the field. And obviously, great job by the guys in coverage right there as well.
Great highlights there, Coach. And just thinking back over the game Friday night, I thought the defensive secondary did an outstanding job. One of the plays that sticks out in my mind was when Jalen stepped in front of number one and picked that pass off. They looked like they faked the screen to the running back out of the backfield, and Jalen just held ground and really did a great job stepping in front and getting that interception as well.
Yeah, we've worked with him really hard about getting his eyes right and trying to make sure that, we look at our keys. A lot of football plays, these gurus over here on offense, it's a lot of window dressing, and you're looking for fakes and emotions. If you read your keys a lot of times, it's pretty easy to see, and Blue Gray's done a better job of learning how to do that. And I gave Coach Gould a hard time going into the game. I said, dang, we only have one interception on the year. And of course, we turned around and we had 5, and now he's running around the office today going, did we break a school record? Have we ever had 5 before? So it's exciting to see those guys do well, and Coach Gould, be proud of his guys and their execution.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for this segment. We'll come back for more of the Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner right after this message. Welcome back to the Richmond Raider Coaches Corner here from Hitchcock Place, home of Patton's Downtown Grill in beautiful downtown Rockingham, North Carolina. Again, I'm Mike Sneed, and joining us now is Lee Wallace. And we also have our Coach of the Week that we want to introduce to you, Coach Andre Jacobs. Coach, welcome to Richmond County and welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Coach, tell us a little bit. We know you graduated from Coastal Carolina. Tell us a little bit about this first year being at Richmond Senior High School.
Well, I'm from a small town, Tabor City, North Carolina, so it reminds me a lot of Richmond. But I'm happy to be here. The people in this community are so great. I was welcomed here with open arms. Being 25 years old, coming down to Richmond County, I had 2 teammates in college actually that were from Richmond County, and they always spoke about how highly the football program was respected, how the people in the community really loved football and took care of their coaches. So when I got the opportunity to come down with Coach C and Coach Rideau, I really felt like I had to take advantage of this opportunity.
Well, Andre, what positions do you coach?
I'm the inside linebacker coach and special team coordinator.
Well, I'm telling you, you got some mighty fine players back there to be working with, and Devin Hunt and Carl Isaac and those guys.
Yeah.
What have they done that made you so proud to be their coach this year? Just one or two things that might stick out.
Oh, the kids as a whole, these kids are so coachable. They try to please coaches any way that they can, and they probably have some of the highest football IQs that I've seen from kids of their age. Since I've been coaching, I've only been doing it 3 years, but they're so coachable. They take it from what it is. They're so respectful, and they try their best to please you in any way that they can.
Coach, you played for Coach C.
Yeah.
Now you coach with Coach C.
Yeah.
Tell me about the difference between playing for him and coaching with him.
Well, I actually had the chance to meet Coach C when I was 17 years old. I was being recruited by Coastal. They actually were the last school to offer me, and I committed as soon as they offered me. And so I've known Coach C and Coach Snyder. Coach Snyder actually recruited me, and all through that process, I felt like it was home. That was my home to be. And I got to know Coach C over the years. He got to know my father actually, and that's how me and him became, the friends that we are today. And he's a great guy. He's taking care of me. I make a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes in these past 3 years, coaching wise, and he's had my back every step of the way.
So what can we expect as you prepare for one of the best teams in the state, Dudley? In your role, how do you prepare your kids to be ready for Friday night?
Well, we have to do what we can do and control what we control. You know, we're only going to be the best Richmond team that we can be. We can't control what's going on in Greensboro, what they're doing. We have to be the best at what we do and at what we can be. You know, my job is to go out and try to find the edge on special teams. That's what I look for every week. You know, I do coach defense also, but I try to find that edge on the special teams end to try to give our offense or defense a spark, you know, to help us get ahead in the game.
Well, Andre, one more question before we close out here. The game of football, how is it coached today versus the way it was coached back when you played? Is it pretty much on the same level? And I know you haven't been graduated all that long, but I know when I played football, football was taught a totally different way. We came in on dinosaurs, it seems like, but the way that they're coaching today. A lot of technique. You talked about the IQ of these kids playing football today. What are the resemblances or the differences when you played as versus today?
I think in our offense, Coach Rideau, he brought this spread offense down here, and it speeds the game up. The game's a whole lot faster than what it was. Okay. Back when I played in 2008, everybody was I formation, wishbone, downhill run, you know, wing tee, ran the ball. But now today's game is the fast up tempo, so the kids have to think faster and react faster. So the game's a whole lot faster than what it was just 5 years ago.
And the coaches have to think a little bit faster too,
right,
don't they?
Yeah.
You got to stay on top and stay one step ahead.
One more quick question. What about all those cards you throw up? You got Mickey Mouse on one card and green, white, and blue on the other card.
Oh, that's all offense window dressing. They want to show you some crazy mess to get your eyes looking and then throw something at you another way. That's all offense over there.
All right,
none of that
all right.
defense, man.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad we don't have to use that in our play-by-play coverage of football, because we would be lost for sure. Well, Coach Jacobs, welcome to Richmond County. Thank you for giving us some time. Folks, make him welcome, Coach Andre Jacobs. We're going to take another short break right here, and we'll come back for more of the Richmond Raider Coaches Show here from Patton's Downtown Grill. Welcome back to Patton's Downtown Grill, and we're continuing with our Richmond Raider Coaches Corner show here today. And our next guest is a familiar name that you've heard called over the speakers many times. He's been a starter on the Raider varsity team for 2 years now, and may even started some as a sophomore. I'm not sure. I can't remember quite back that far. But make welcome Quintel Goodwin. Quintel, you unfortunately got injured in the first game. I think pulled a hamstring, had to sit out a couple of games, came back in the Butler game, and you looked like a man on a mission. How did it feel to be back, first of all, back on the field with your teammates, and also playing against such a caliber team as the Butler Bulldogs?
Well, it felt great being back, being on the field with my teammates, trying to play good with them, being just playing. I've been ready to be back on the field. Going in the coach had, he been getting me better it's still been kind of messing with me. He been getting me better. Still been having to go through rehab and all that.
Well, it kind of scared me Friday night when you went down there for a moment, and I said, Lord, I hope he's not hurt again, but you bounced right back up. And tell us about the field conditions and how you were able to do as well as you did on that slippery field Friday night.
Well, I just go out there and play my game and just play hard and just play.
And as you get ready for teams like Butler or Dudley or the conference games, what do you do Monday through Thursday to get yourself physically ready and mentally ready to play?
I just stay focused and practice hard, and have my teammates practice hard with me.
As a senior, and as a senior running back and a leader, a dominant leader on this team, you encourage your underclassmen and you encourage your teammates to be the best that they can be. We talked to Coach Castellano and Coach Bordeaux. They talk about the intensity that they bring to the field each and every week. You know, that just doesn't happen when you walk through the gates on Friday night. There's a lot of work that goes into preparing, a lot of film work. What do you learn, or how do you approach film session to try to improve your game as you approach the game on Fridays?
Well, I just see how defense is going to be, how they line up, and just watch what the offensive line have to do, and like how the hole going to hit, and just do it how that.
Well, Quintel, you're doing an outstanding job this year. It's a pleasure to call your name on Friday nights, and I know things are just going to continue to improve as you get completely healthy. What are you? Are you about, 85, 90% now, you reckon?
I'd say about 95%.
About 95%?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be exciting when you hit that 100 mark, because I'll tell you, you are electrifying, and I enjoy watching you play each and every week. Well, that's Quintel Goodwin. Let's make him welcome again. And we're going to take another break, and we'll be back for more of the Richmond Raiders Coaches Show here from Patton's Downtown Grill.
Violations here in North Carolina. I know I should be paying attention. But you should too. I deserve to get home safely. We deserve to go home safely. And you deserve to go home safely.
Richmond County's Operation Stop Arm campaign will be September 28th through October 2nd.
Remember, rushing on the roads has some serious consequences.
Welcome back to the Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner here from Patton's Downtown Grill in beautiful Rockingham, North Carolina. And we have another special guest, a senior defensive back, Darius Skinner, joining us on the program. Darius, a pleasure to watch you play on Friday nights. And guys, you were just electrifying. Friday night it seemed like you were flying around to the ball all night long. I think you even got an interception Friday night, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Well, good. Tell us a little bit about playing defensive back at Richmond Senior High. What are your keys? What do you look for as the offense approaches the line of scrimmage?
You have to check out the sets, how many receivers they have. It's fun. It's fun playing DB. Like you be able to shut down a receiver, or catch interceptions and get your offense back the ball. Just help out your team any way you can.
One thing about playing defensive back, you really have to be some of the most disciplined players on the team, because there's a guy that likes to be a headhunter and wants to go up there and hit somebody in the mouth. You know, you got to be aware of the fake and the pass. How do you control yourself, or how do you prepare yourself to be aware of those things when they come to be?
We look at the end man on the line. If he give us a high hat, we know it's a pass. He give us a low hat, we know it's run. So that's how we determine what it is.
Awesome.
And Darius, do you have a pregame routine where you kind of get yourself ready for the game, besides what the coaches are doing with you and kind of getting you ready? Do you have a personal routine where you listen to some music, or you go through some sort of routine to get ready?
Yeah, we all listen to music. That's what we all do. It's just like we get our headphones and listen to music, and get in our zone.
And what do you use to get in the zone?
I listen to hip hop.
Hip hop, good.
But Darius, it's a good feeling, and I say again, to watch you guys play out there, and this new system that Coach Castellano has brought to Richmond Senior. How easy has it been, or how hard has it been for you to grasp the concepts of this new system?
It's really not that hard at all. He makes it. He doesn't make it too hard for us. He game plans real good. Like, so whenever it's time for us to play a team, we have seen everything that they were going to do.
So
For the most part.
you feel well prepared when you go into every game that unless they change something that they haven't done all year, you're going to be ready for about anything that they throw out.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's awesome. Well, after you leave Richmond Senior High School this year, what do you plan on doing as far as maybe playing football or going to college?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to play football at a college, but I don't know what college right now. But I'm going to college for engineering.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, best of luck, and I tell you again, it's a pleasure and a privilege to watch you guys on Friday night. And I'll tell you what, the defensive backfield Friday night was on fire. After that first touchdown pass, I think that they gave up, you guys just were on every key, it looked like, and did a great job. 5 interceptions. I don't know, Coach, did you know if that was a school record or not? Nobody knows about that, but I think 5 was about as many as I've seen in a game, and man, it was electrifying. So thank you for joining us, and good luck the rest of the year, and good luck next week against Dudley.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Okay.
And we'll be back in just a minute from Patton's Downtown Grill with the Richmond Raiders Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to the Richmond Raiders Coach's Corner here from Patton's Downtown Grill in Rockingham, North Carolina. And our next special guest is a guy that I've got to know for some time now, and been a pleasure getting to know the Richmond Raiders athletic director. And knew him as the head baseball coach first, and then a couple of years ago he took on the athletic director's job. And make welcome our athletic director and head baseball coach, Ricky Young. Coach, tell the folks a little bit who don't know, how long have you been at Richmond Senior High School, and what brought you here?
We've been here this is our 7th year. We were at West Columbus High School for 15 years, and this opportunity came open. I talked to Hal Schuler, who was the athletic director at the time, and Corey Satterfield, and my wife and I talked about it, and we prayed about it, and we just decided we were both ready to make a change in our careers, and it looked like a good place. It was very similar to home as far as it's a rural type area that we're kind of used to. We knew the winning tradition here, so we decided to give it a try, and it's worked out well.
Well, as you moved and transitioned here to Richmond County, were there any surprises that you didn't expect as far as maybe how awesome and how big the football program was here at first, and then how the passion was for the program?
Well, everybody knew about football. I actually came up and watched some Richmond football games earlier. Believe it or not, I coached football for about 12 years. In my earlier life. But, I came up and watched Richmond. I knew the tradition. I knew football was big, but I also knew baseball was big. I'd coached some Richmond players in state games, and knew it was a good opportunity. So not really any surprises. We kind of knew it was a big opportunity, and that's really what drew us here.
Now, Ricky, as both baseball coach and athletic director now, why do you think athletics are such an important part of the Richmond County culture, our community? Because when you go up to Greensboro last year, you had 500 or 600 people for all 3 games. You know how big the football games are. Having come from another West Columbus, why do you think athletics play such an important role in our community?
Well, I think here it's just tradition. I think it's passed down from generation to generation. I think it's big because in a rural type community, people really identify with winning tradition, with pride. Take a lot of pride. It's mostly, we're all mostly a working class community, and I think it's something that the community can take a lot of pride in, to have a athletic tradition like we do here.
Well, Coach, as you have transitioned into the athletic director's position at Richmond Senior High School, your workload has just about probably doubled, tripled, and you probably don't get to see your family as much as you used to. Tell us a little bit about what it's like to be the athletic director of a high school like Richmond Senior High School.
It's a big responsibility. I mean, there are 28 teams that we're responsible for. Eligibility, fundraising, scheduling. Most of the head coaches do their own scheduling, but we have to do the scheduling through the conference. Very lucky we have a very good group of coaches who are good people. I think we do a good job of getting along with each other, have a family type atmosphere. There's a lot of time involved, a lot of fundraising. A lot of people think that because we have a good football team that we just have this unlimited supply of money, but that's not the case.
Right.
I mean, we have to raise money, and there's a lot of time that goes into that. And by the way, our fall fundraiser, our golf tournament will be coming up October the 17th. For anyone who'd like to play in that, that's another opportunity for us to raise a little bit of money.
Well, Coach, also, I don't know how involved you are with it, but there's a booster club at Richmond Senior High School, and Lee and I try our best on Friday nights to promote the booster club, because that's an outstanding way to be able to help Richmond Raider athletics, not only the football program, but also every program, the 28 teams that you said. How can folks get in touch with the booster club and become a booster club member?
Well, we sell booster memberships at Mabry's Pharmacy, at Medical Center Pharmacy, and also at Family Pharmacy. We also sell them at the school. You can call me in my office. You can call Patrick Chappell over at Fidelity Bank. We raise money not only by individual memberships, but also through businesses. We get a lot of businesses who are involved in our Fabulous 50 board, and also our Big Sign program in the stadium.
Well, Coach,
Ricky, you are head baseball coach. Even though we're in the middle of football season, you've been through summer ball, and of course, like most sports now, baseball is year-round in conditioning and in getting ready. This early, what do you think about the 2016, I guess it'll be, Raiders baseball team?
Well, hopefully we're going to have a good year. We've been lucky enough to win a few games in the last few years, and I think the expectations are a little higher, which is good. We like that. Our kids are working really hard. Coach Denson's doing a great job with them in the weight room. We've had some good fall workouts over the last couple of weeks. I think if a few of our guys develop like they're capable of, I think we can put another good team on the field.
Well, you got some good pitching coming. I've been fortunate to watch those guys come through the system for some time now, and I'm really looking forward to this season. Coach, anything that you'd like to say to the community that can be an asset to help you as an athletic director help continue to support Raider athletics?
Just continue to support our kids. I mean, these are some of the best days of our kids' lives. They enjoy what they're doing. Just come out and support them. They're kids. That's what they are. They're kids. Let them enjoy playing. Come out and support them. And we appreciate all the support that you bring to us every week.
That'll do it for that segment. We'll be right back with more of the Richmond County Coaches Corner and from Patton's Downtown Grill.
Welcome back to the Richmond Raiders Coaching Corner here at Patton's Downtown Grill in Rockingham, North Carolina. Our next guest is the girls volleyball coach, Shelly Wimpy. And Shelly, welcome to the show tonight.
Hi, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your track that brought you to Richmond County. Now, we know that you're a Roll Tide.
Well, I got my master's from
Okay.
Alabama.
But tell us a little bit what brought you to Richmond County.
Well, I graduated from Chowan University in the middle of the year, and I applied all over North Carolina. I got a call from Richmond County, and I accepted the job.
Awesome. Well, for someone who doesn't know a whole lot about volleyball, myself. Tell us a little bit about what goes into picking a team, preparing a team, and then competing as a team.
Well, we have to work out all summer. You know, we do our conditioning, we do lots of basic drills during the summer. Then when we come to our tryouts, we evaluate the girls during tryouts to see who's going to fit our program the best, who has the best attitude, maybe not always the most talented, but we want good attitudes on our team, people that want to work hard. And then once the season comes, we work on a lot of fundamentals. We work on our defense, our offense, and most importantly, our serve-receive in order to compete with other teams.
You had a fairly young team this year. How do you encourage a young team to come along? I know you've won, 3 in a row, so you had, after having a little bit of a rough start. How do you encourage the girls just to keep trying to bind it into your program?
Well, we did struggle with that at first. They are very young, but we are very talented. So I just keep telling them how talented they are and telling them that I believe in them, and if they can believe in themselves the way that I do, then they will be fine with any team that they play. So I tell them to stay positive, think positive thoughts, and positive things will happen in the game. And I can honestly say that that's been the big difference in the past couple of weeks. When they go out there now, they are so positive, they believe in themselves, and they have played a lot better.
What's your proudest moment so far this season?
Just the past couple weeks, seeing them gel together as a team and finding the rotation that fits for us and that fits the best on the court, and seeing them be so positive with each other.
And what days do y'all usually play on?
We usually play on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There's a couple Wednesdays in there that we play that are non-conference games.
And those home games are played in the gym at Richmond Senior High School?
Yes.
Are they night games or afternoon?
They are night games. JV starts at 5 and varsity starts around 6 or 6:30.
Awesome. Well, we thank you for giving us a few moments tonight. And what do you hope for your team as they continue to grow, not only in age, but as they advance in their skills this year?
We have 10 more games, and I think that we can win every single one of them if they come out and play hard. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm excited for next season to have this young group to continue to get better. They go to camps during the summer, Carolina camp, Pembroke camp, and they work really hard, so that's awesome.
Now, like in football and the other sports, is there a playoff or state playoffs in volleyball as well?
Yes, there is. The top 3 teams in conference make it to playoffs.
Awesome. Well, good luck.
Well, thank you very much.
And we thank you for joining us here on the Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner. Let's again give Shelly Wimpy a round of applause.
Thank you.
And we'll be back for more of the Richmond Raider Coaches Corner here from Patton's Downtown Grill. Welcome back to Patton's Downtown Grill, where we're having our Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner again tonight, and thank you all for coming out. It's a pleasure to see so many come out and support this new venture that we have here in Richmond County. Our next special guest is a senior girls volleyball player, and a lot of you know her, Madeline Chappell. Madeline, welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
Now, Madeline, how long have you been playing volleyball for the Raiders?
4 years.
And what's the best part of being a volleyball player at Richmond? Like I said, I know very little about volleyball, but go through what you do in preparation for the games, and how do you approach each game that you play each week?
Well, I start off in the summer going to our summer workouts, and I also go to a lot of camps at colleges. But then tryouts come, and I work really hard, and same with the other girls. We really work together good as a team, and yeah.
Awesome.
What is your best memory so far this year of being on the Raider volleyball team?
Well, these past couple of weeks have been really good. We've really worked hard together and gave it our all. And I feel if we continue that, we will definitely beat Pinecrest tomorrow.
Amen. I like the way you're thinking. Well, as a student athlete, I know it's very difficult to balance your time because first and foremost is academics here at Richmond Senior High School. How do you go about balancing the time between doing your studies and preparing for your sports?
Well, that's hard. But I have to manage my time. Normally, like when I have homework or have to study, I take it with me on away games, and I do it during the JV game, and then whatever I have left, I do it after our games. So.
Since academics are important, what are your plans for next year after you graduate, after playing 4 years of volleyball at Richmond?
I plan on going to a 4-year university and playing college volleyball.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, best of luck to you, and I tell you what, we just thank you for coming and being with us and enlightening us a little bit about volleyball.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Let's give her a hand as we go to break. We'll be right back from Patton's Downtown Grill with the Richmond Raider Coaches Corner.
Welcome back to Patton's Downtown Grill for our Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner. And again, we want to bring back Coach Mike Castellano. And Coach, we at the first of the show, Ashley put out the word that we were accepting tweets today. And got a couple of questions we want to ask you. And the first tweet is, what animal are you most afraid of?
I have a small fear of snakes.
Yeah.
It's small, actually. Coach Denson, I feel like this might came from him or his wife or somewhere in his family. There was a snake apparently loose in the office one day, and they told me my first reaction after I screamed like a 4-year-old girl was around the door. And Dave was in there trying to catch it for us in the office, and he said, "Coach, it's okay. He's just in a wall somewhere." So at that point, I looked Coach Schuler in the eye, and I was a man about it, and said, I'm a little scared, a little scared teenage girl when I see snakes. And I said, I have no problem admitting that. So I have a bad fear of snakes.
Well, you're not in the boat by yourself. I don't like them either. I don't like them live, dead. I don't even like pictures of them, so that's not bad. Our second tweet is, what do you eat every morning for breakfast?
What do I eat every morning for breakfast? Gosh, depends sometimes.
Donuts.
No, I don't actually eat donuts every day. I've actually not had a Granny's donut yet, but every Friday I try to make sure, I bring some in for custodial guys and to be other people on campus, the great ladies we have that help in the front office. And originally I brought some in for coaches' wives that were coming to the game, but I made a mistake and left them in front of left them in our defensive office, and apparently the defensive staff decided their wives weren't very important and ate them instead. So I don't know. Usually, if anything, it'll be something small.
Well, Coach, being the head coach at Richmond Senior High School not only puts you the head coach of the varsity team, but you're, in essence, I guess, the head coach of the JV team and the 9th grade academy as well. Talk a little bit about those programs and how you've seen progression as the year has gone on with Coach Jones and also Coach Hope.
Great question. And before I answer that, I appreciate Coach Wimpy and Madeline being here talking about academics. I found out from talking to the chairman of our board, Mr. Mabe, that Madeline's dad played at Gardner-Webb, and obviously I coached at Coastal Carolina for 10 years, went to Catawba College, so I was excited to meet him until I realized, the 2 places I worked at, he actually went there and was a rival of. So I do appreciate his daughter turning out well, even though her dad is a Gardner-Webb grad. But I appreciate those guys being here. But no, for us, what we try to build, and Coach Bordeaux and I a couple of years ago kind of created a motto. People talk about the JV team or the freshman team or the varsity team, And we talk about it as one program. You know, we have coaches that, as we were trying to put this all together extremely quick, we had coaches coming and going, getting hired, their roles changing by the day. And, you know, we had everybody coaching a position. You know, for example, Coach Schuler and Coach Denson were working with all the wideouts. They weren't working with just the varsity wideouts. You know, and that way everybody was taught the same thing. And then as coaches were brought in, we could kind of divide up and make sure the program was the same throughout it. And we try to coach it that way. Obviously, Coach Jones and Coach Fly are the coordinators on the JV level and have done a great job. You know, learning our schemes and trying to teach it to the kids and making sure that it is, you know, the same thing that we're trying to do on the varsity level, because we want those guys prepared. If, God forbid, there's an injury, we have a theory of close ranks, keep marching, you know, and that we can bring a JV kid up and he can be ready to go on varsity. And with the freshman team, you know, those guys down there, you know, it's fun watching those coaches because, you know, they're taking guys that are young, don't know the scheme at all. Some of those guys are starting the first day of school and they're trying to coach those guys, and you know, the younger they are, the less experience they have, sometimes it's harder to coach them. But it's been fun. You know, Coach Bordeaux and Coach Jacobs and myself, we rode over to a freshman game together, and we had the opportunity one time. And I laughed. I looked, and all three of us were screaming on the sideline, coaching as hard as we do on a Friday night. And I said, you know, it's good because those are our kids. You know, this is all these coaches are in it together. You know, all the kids are in it together. It's fun to watch our older guys work with the younger ones as well.
Coach, one question I have for you as you've come into this year, came in late as things developed rather quickly for you. I know a lot of teams like to set goals, but one thing that's been, I think, that I liked about your approach is be 1-0. 1-0 in everything that you do. And doing that, I think that the expectations can go really high, not only for the coaching staff, but for the kids as well.
Yeah, I don't even know where I came with that theory a couple of years ago, and just got to thinking, because if you think about the process, you know, we start, in February sometimes, you know, preparing for the next year, and it goes year round. And, you know, you can burn yourself out or look at a time period and say, gosh, I don't know if I can get there, or the kids can get tired of it or get stale. So, you know, my theory just kind of became, and our programs did, was go 1-0. If you think about life, you know, right now I wanted to come here and not look like an idiot on TV or in front of a group of people that are great people, so I wanted to go 1-0 right now.
Right.
You know, later on in the night when I'm watching film, I want to go 1-0. So it started to make a lot of sense to me, and as a team, a couple of years back we had a pretty good run in the playoffs, and when you think, gosh, you could have 5 more weeks to go, it just seems so long. So we adopted the theory of, hey, you know, right now there's 64 teams left. If you win this week, there's 32. Then there's 16. All of a sudden, it seems like an easier task.
Right.
Well, how do you do that? You go 1-0 in practice. You go 1-0 on Friday. And the good thing about it is only one team's going to be happy at the end of the year. That's the one that goes 1-0 the last game of the year. And that's your goal. But, you know, we have a couple different theories that we say. You know, one is go 1-0 because you can't get back what happened before. You can't. Win, lose, or draw, good decision, bad decision you make, you can't get it back. So all you can do is, you know, be negative about that or go 1-0 in the next endeavor. You know, we lost to Butler, we had to go 1-0 the next week. You know, we beat Rocky River, we still had to go 1-0 the next week. And our other theory that we always say after games is, you know, we want to be barbers. You know, what does the barber say when he's done with one person? Next, move right on to the next one. And that's kind of our theory. You know, we tell the kids, all right, enjoy this one for 20 minutes because next.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, we'd like to go 1-0 this week, I know. It's going to be a tall order. We're going up to Dudley to play the Panthers. They've got a lot of good athletes up there, one of the best teams in the state. So from what you've seen so far, what do you expect out of Dudley?
They're good. They're real good. There's a reason they haven't lost a football game in like 3.5 years now, I believe. You know, they're an athletic group, very athletic. Coach Bordeaux and I were talking earlier, and I said, well, you know, what do you think of their secondary? And he looked at me, and Coach Bordeaux is a very mellow guy. But when he gives you those eyes where he kind of looks at you like you're an idiot, you know you said something wrong. And he said, yeah, the DBs are the same size as the DNs. Well, that's not a real good thing, Coach. And he said, no, I don't think so either. But, you know, they've got some great players on both sides of the ball. They're very good in the secondary. They're big physical up front on the defensive line. Offensively, you know, their biggest offensive line we're going to probably see up to this point. The quarterback, if I've heard correct, you know, UNC's coming by on Friday to recruit him to see if, you know, he's their type of guy to offer. The running backs averaging 9.3 yards a carry thus far during the season. Yep. You know, their wideouts unfortunately can run and are very athletic. So, you know, they are a good football team. But, you know, we don't talk about the other teams necessarily. We don't mention other teams' school names. We we don't mention their names. I think you heard me earlier say, please don't say their names to me. Tell me their numbers, because the only people I worry about are the ones that are wearing our colors. And if we handle our business, do what we're supposed to do, we've always got a chance to win.
I agree with you. Just for information, the JVs will not be playing this week. Am I right about that? But the 9th grade academy will be playing Thursday afternoon at home, and they'll be playing Pinecrest. So, Coach, congratulations on starting off 4-1 this year, and look forward to many more victories as we go through the season. And thank you for joining us tonight.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
That's going to do it for our Richmond Raiders coaching show. Coach's Corner here from Patton's Downtown Grill. Reminder, we'll be back next Monday night at 6:30. So tell all your friends and family to come out and be a part of this special event. Thank you so much and have a great night.